All right, y'all. It's D.A.Sports podcast. Welcome to the podcast. And I'm excited to go over this. Sports is my passion, it's my fuel, it's my fire. I grew up playing sports, not to say that I was any good, but I got to be around some superb, amazing athletes that made it pro. Got to be around some great coaches. To this day, some of my friends that I went to college with or grew up with ended up becoming coaches. And I just tend to fall in love with sports and some of the themes that may be happening day to day, weekly, monthly, or along the lines of the different sports. So I want to jump right into it. Michigan football just won. Big Blue, they're back, but Harbaugh might not be back. And I have a feeling he's going to leave. Why wouldn't this guy leave? He's got the allegations against him, the stuff swarming over the program and things he's done with recruiting and whatnot. And he's an amazing guy, amazing coach. So he's already been in the pros. He's already proven himself. He brought the program back up. If I were him, I would leave. I don't know about you guys, but it's probably that time. Test yourself in other ways. See what other challenges are out there. See if you can win one in the pros like your brother did, right? That's crazy to think the brother and the dad have won championships in different regards and coaching aspects. So kind of crazy, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's what makes sports interesting. Is some of the things that will come out. There's always some new news, some drama, something like that. So, John Morant coming back this season and then getting hurt just now and out for the season. That was a blow to the NBA. He was playing some of the best ball I've ever seen. And I don't mean to jump around sports, but just talking about some of the main themes here. And how about the Eagles going from 10-1 to barely making the playoffs almost, it seemed like. So that fallout after going to the Super Bowl last year, is it that Super Bowl hangover after a loss? I thought they'd come in with extra motivation, but we'll see. And if you hear anything in the background, I just got some of the sports topics in the background. I got some other things here on the computer. But one thing I can say is that the NFL firings have been interesting so far. Mike Vrabel from the Titans, I thought he did a great job at the Titans. Hard place to win, in my opinion. They've had good teams in the past, but they didn't look too great. But then again, I live in Charlotte, and we have our Carolina Panthers. That's my team. We were the worst team to watch this year. It was awful. Like, no fun on offense, no superstars on offense, nobody to really get you coming to the games. And I don't know if you saw that rainy game day. It was the lowest attendance I've ever seen for a Charlotte sport, like ever. And it's pretty sad when you got one of the richest owners, and hopefully he would make great decisions since he was able to earn his wealth and build his way up in the financial world. Why can't he do that and translate it like a Mark Cuban did with sports, right? Come on, man. So this next hiring, he's hired a consulting team to help him out. I thought that was interesting, but it is a sports consulting team that he hired. So hopefully they get the right people in the door. What was funny is at one point this season we were talking about hiring Luke Kuechly for defense, Greg Olson for offense, Cam Newton as a coach. These guys to help lead our team because of the old faithful. And I mean, might as well throw Jake Delhomme in there, right? He was a fiery guy and a great leader in my opinion. And one guy I've seen at the gym lately, Josh McGowan. He was in the league for so many different teams. I'm sure he has some great resources, and I see him working out his sons who are in college right now playing football as well. Same position as him, quarterback. But anyway, Charlotte needs some help. Who is it going to be? There's a lot of firings, a lot of movement. What if like a Bill Belichick came through and would help us turn things around? We already got a defense, and we know he thrives off defense, but need a great quarterback. I know my one buddy Mike talks about how small Bryce Young is. And I'm like, he is, but there has to be a reason you were taken number one overall in a draft. Like, there has to be some intangibles that make it great where he should be the pick and the savior, right? Like, you can't draft somebody that's not the prototype, not the right size, and not have high expectations due to like the intangibles and the other things that they're seeing in them. Now, there were certain moments, especially near the end of the season, where you have flashes and glimpses of greatness. When your offensive line gives you like 0.5 seconds to throw the ball, I don't think anybody's going to be successful in that. So look at several of these teams that changed quarterbacks around. Like, I don't know how well their offensive line did, but they were changing out quarterbacks, so they're not getting the reps for the quarterback that they may need to carry over, and that's just killing their confidence. So one thing that I am surprised by is just letting them play out the season with such, I don't know, low expectations, yet still not performing to those low expectations even. And then, you got Joe Flacco that comes in late in the season and throws more touchdowns than than he did. And he played all season basically, except one game. It's sad, but like, what's really going on there? So hopefully the coaching moves and putting some pieces around us will help. The one clip that stands out in my mind that like Panthers Nation and some of these pages on social media put in there is Tepper saying he's going to be the point guard and you don't need great receivers because you can distribute when you got somebody like that. Well, did he think about the offensive line and the protection and the time he needs to actually make a good throw and step into it? Like, come on, bro. You're setting them up for failure. That's like me going out playing basketball with like, 5 against 5 LeBron Jameses and everybody else is on my team is my size, which is like 6'1". So, we're going to get destroyed. It's like the Goon Squad or whatever from freaking, what's that? The Toon Squad, Goon Squad, whatever. But at the end of the day, I don't know if the Panthers are going to turn this thing around too quickly, especially not having the first round pick. Oh, man, it's not looking too good. It's not looking too good. We just gave up the number 1 overall pick for next season to another team, and that's frustrating me. So, anyways, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about something more neutral. So, NFL playoffs coming up. So, with the NFL playoffs coming up, there's some great storylines with that. And I kind of want to see the bracket here. Let's see if we can pull that up. I mean, they're all pretty interesting when you think about it. A lot of people are saying Tampa Bay over Philly. I'm like, ain't no way. I mean, the Panthers, if they could score a touchdown, they would have beat Tampa Bay this past weekend because the score was 9-0. I think we missed a field goal or could have took a field goal, whatever, and if our offense was good enough to score a touchdown, we got a touchdown called back. Yeah, I think we missed a field goal and got 2 scores called back. So Panthers easily could have won that game, 17-9. And maybe even better if the offense could play better. Because the defense, when they get rest, they're a top defense in my opinion. But the Eagles are a 5 seed in the playoffs. Buccaneers a 4 seed. Like, what is that, man? The Buccaneers are going to be favored at home? No way. No way. The Eagles, Super Bowl team last year, they'll get coached up. Honestly, what I think was happening is they were saving plays for the playoffs. They went 10-1. They didn't want to throw out the whole playbook. They didn't want to have people notice their plays and know their designs, know their calls when it comes playoff time. That old okie doke, that switcheroo, that, hey, I'm going to show you one thing, then do another. I think that's what they're planning on. So the Eagles, I wouldn't be surprised if they made a little run. Now, it does have an effect on the playoffs if you're like a hot team coming off a lot of wins or some recent big wins. That usually helps teams. So let's look at a team like Detroit Lions. Heck of a year playing the Rams. Everybody said the Rams is a good matchup, but Oh man, that's quite a story because you got Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff who were traded for each other, playing each other in this playoff matchup. It's a 6 versus a 3, Lions being the 3. That is going to be a good one. 8 p.m. on NBC. That's going to be a good one on Sunday. All right, then there's the Packers and the Cowboys. Like, Packers, in my opinion, are not that good. They are not that good, but I like Love coming up right now. I like their team coming up right now. But they're a 7 seed. Cowboys are playing great. Nobody's seeing the Packers beating the Cowboys this year. It's just not going to happen. But I do like some of the growth they've had. They've had some up and down, some adversity this year. The Packers, that is. Even the Cowboys, but the Packers mainly. So the fact that they came back from that and still made the playoffs, kudos to them. I think that's momentum built into the next season. This game isn't really contingent on how they're going to be next year. I think they've already created some momentum for next year. So the Cowboys are probably going to take that one, in my opinion. All right, and then you got Steelers, Bills. All right, so Steelers, Bills. How the heck does Mike Tomlin keep having a winning season? And I don't know, man. Dave Tapper came from the Pittsburgh lineage of the Steelers or whatever. He was affiliated with them, part ownership, and then he ends up buying the Panthers, right? But the Steelers have only had like 4 head coaches ever, all right? And the consistency there just speaks to me. It's like you keep somebody in there, you let him ride. If he's a good leader, he's a good leader, and you let it play out, and it worked out for the Steelers and continues to work out. And they got Alex Highsmith, who went to UNC Charlotte, that's been balling. So shout out to Alex Highsmith. You are a certified baller, bro. And then the Bills. So the Bills are just one of those streaky-ass teams, man. Bills are a team that can light people up and play good defense, but they can also turn the ball over and keep you in the game all day. But they're a 2 seed. The Bills are going to win this one, man. No brainers at the Bills, too. Like, come on, that home field advantage out there this time of year is real for sure. All right, Bills are going to win. Josh Allen's too good. Texans, Browns, man, Panthers fans wish they had C.J. Stroud at this point. But honestly, with our offensive line, how well would he have done? He probably would have made a few more plays than Bryce. I feel like Bryce is quick to throw the ball away, whereas C.J. Stroud is one of those that can move around and really make a play, which I love to see, love to watch. And they're a 4 seed. Browns are a 5 seed. Browns are hot right now. The Browns are hot right now. And it's been a while since people thought the Browns were really going to do something, make some noise. But the defense is legit. Myles Garrett is a beast. He is freaking huge. And I just think they're going to make a statement. It's a statement game. Saturday, 4:30, number 5 Browns versus number 4 Texans. That'd be a matchup to watch for. But Joe Flacco coming back, just bringing the team to life and getting the offense clicking. One of the best stories of the year. It's like a comeback story, man. I love it. And if I'm not mistaken, Joe Flacco already won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, but I could be mistaken. But just a crazy, crazy thing in football right now. Dolphins at Chiefs. So Dolphins are 6, Chiefs are 3. When you think about this one, you're like, damn, Miami, you were so fun to watch at certain points this year, but you beat only teams that suck. You beat teams with losing records. You can't beat the teams with winning records. The playoffs will prove that to be the same because it's at Kansas City. Unfortunately, man, I wanted the Dolphins to do so well, especially after watching Hard Knocks. I do love a lot of their players, and you got Tyreek Hill. This storyline is cool because Tyreek Hill going back to the Chiefs. The Chiefs, because of Mahomes, it's going to be a super cold game, like -10 or something stupid. I don't know if it's going to be that cold, but it's going to be cold out there. And the Dolphins have the best weather. They're in Miami. Best weather in the league. And I do not think they're going to hold up in the cold. Even though they got a good run on attack this year. Shout out to the running backs like Mostert, because helped me with fantasy this year, have a baller ass season in fantasy. But the Chiefs, Pacheco runs like a man possessed on a mission. Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league still, in my opinion. He can make plays. We just need his guys to catch the ball. And Travis Kelce is the difference maker tight end that every team wants, but very few teams have. And he's one of a kind. I think that is something special they can work with. And they are going to win this one. Unfortunately, Dolphins. Fins down. All right, so that's that. And then you got the buys and all that. So, all right, moving on. But the Super Bowl will be in Vegas, February 11th. Who wants to go to Vegas that weekend? I am super down. Don't think I can afford to go to the Super Bowl, but to just be around that atmosphere would be electric and be pretty cool, I would think. So let's do it. All right. Another thing, NFL related, the Bears talking about trading Fields or trade their number one pick. What would y'all do in that scenario? I think Justin Fields is just super special, man. He's one of those guys that is going to be streaky, but he'll get some plays that like are unbelievable. Quite a runner. He makes some throws every now and then. You're like, holy cow! But I don't know. I mean, what would you do? You got Fields, or you can trade him, get some nice stock around you, or you can trade the number one pick and get a heap of stuff for your future. That's tough because you're always taking a gamble with quarterbacks, whenever you want to pick a quarterback as the top pick, you never know how that's going to unfold. It's proven out time after time. Seems like the quarterbacks in the second, third, fourth, and fifth rounds are the ones that have the chip on the shoulder and make an impact oftentimes. Especially when you got a big pot, it's like you want to make sure you're choosing the best out of the mix, and some people just overthink it, I think, with their picks. So we'll see. Should be interesting. The Bears might be relevant again. They're setting themselves up nicely, I think. So we'll see what happens with that. And then let's see. All right. And then we look at the NBA a little early, but the Nuggets, they're going to take it again. I think overall they're such a big team, ton of shooters. You got the point center, Jokic, who is unlike anything we've ever seen. One of the best scorers, best finishers, best players in the world. Maybe going to turn out to be one of the best players of all time. As long as that guy stays in shape, sky's the limit. And it's amazing that, this guy from small town, Serbia or wherever he's from, ends up making this impact and really just caring about the sport. He don't care about anything else. He's not flashy. He doesn't care to be on the news. When he gets interviewed, it looks like he doesn't even want to be there most of the time. But he's quite a character. Teammates love him. He's a team player, and he's full of humility. And I think that's why people love Giannis, because he just keeps it real. But Giannis is a little more open to being out there in the public eye and all that. So quite a difference, but love that. And I wouldn't mind seeing that. Milwaukee Bucks versus Denver Nuggets in the finals. I'd watch that. I don't know. I'd definitely watch that. That'd be one of the better matchups, actually. Everybody loves Boston this year. The Boston Celtics, great again. Man. But if y'all ain't watching that show on about the Lakers on HBO Max, you're messing up. A lot of great actors, just great storyline. Talk about Irvin Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird back in those dynasty days of those teams, and it has a fun way of exploring that and how it came to fruition and to what the Lakers are today with that rich history and culture. It's pretty awesome. All right, let's see. We go NBA. I mentioned John Morant. Sad. Such a player, such a baller. Did y'all see that LeBron James dunk the other day? What, he's turning back the clock, my man. It's so beastly, man. So if you invest $1 million+ in your body every year, so you're rejuvenated every year and you feel great every year and you're healthy, wow. Apparently you can do amazing things up into your 40s. So Tom Brady, you got LeBron about to be 40. I mean, is he already? I don't know. He's close. He's like 39, I think, but maybe about to be 40. But anyways, playing in a league where it's a bunch of super athletic kids that are much faster than most humans, and they're big and tall and athletic. Like, for him to be doing some of the things he's doing right now, give him props for that. So props, LeBron, even though you're not my favorite, but you're just doing things that we've never seen, and I love that and I respect that. And he's great for basketball in that regard and some of the things he's trying to do outside of basketball. But, a lot of people would think he's fake. I hate how he bitches about calls, but, at the end of the day, he is such a great player and he puts a lot into the game and he's helped the game so much. So kudos to LeBron. One team that's funny to me, Golden State. They got smaller by bringing Chris Paul in. And I love Chris Paul because played against him in high school. Worked out with him at the Y sometimes and was lucky enough and unlucky enough to be on his team and being yelled at about taking a shot. But luckily I hit it, so he couldn't say anything after it. But I took like this NBA range three-pointer in this pickup game. I remember it. He's like, no, what the fuck? And then I hit it, and he's like, yeah. But he's such a great leader, such a great teammate. He just don't stay healthy anymore. He's small. The team's small. Look at teams like Denver and whatnot. They're freaking huge. They're huge. Like their guards are like 6'7", 6'8", just like Oklahoma City, who's making a run these days. And you just gotta think about size now. Unfortunately, you want to see the shooters that are small succeed, but when you think about it, Steph Curry's 6'4", 6'5", like. He's skinny small, but he's not height small. And you need some of that length to defend and rebound and everything else. So it's just a tough spot to be in if you're them and they're getting Draymond back. Draymond as a character, I don't know why he keeps punching and chokeholding people, but hopefully he's getting that anger worked out in other ways. Maybe join a boxing club or do something MMA, and maybe that'll help get some of that aggression out. So by the time you're in a game, you're not wanting to choke somebody out so quickly. So we'll see. And when it comes to NBA storylines, I mean, who else? Gilgeous-Alexander. He's one of those that's been killing it. And at first, I didn't know how good he was. A lot of people raved about him. But now that I see him, like, coming into his own, he is doing things that I haven't seen in a while. It reminds me of, like, a bigger Rondo, Rajon Rondo. Maybe a bigger Rondo, maybe a better shooting Rondo. But one of those guys that kind of does it all, fills up all the stats, right? The whole stat sheet for you. So that is interesting. What else? Oh, yeah. I saw something about like Nebraska beating Purdue last night, and Purdue's number one in the nation. They got the 7'4" Edie guy, or however tall he is. But I also saw that Nebraska has a couple foreign players, but they got a guy from Japan who in a Instagram post or social media post, I saw a guy talk about him and that he was like a Steph Curry from Japan. But I looked up that dude's stats. He went like 5 for 9, had the game high in points last night, 5 for 9 for threes from three. And that's just crazy. I love that the sport's so global now, but you get these guys you never heard of, and they come to these teams that, like, somehow found out about them, and then they make an impact right away. So I love that. I love that. So that was a cool story. Nebraska's having a great year in basketball, believe it or not, and I like their Hoiberg, the coach. So we'll see what happens with them. It's not a team I think about when I think about basketball, but I saw that last night and thought that was pretty interesting. All right. Detroit Pistons keep losing. This is crazy. It's an NBA team that doesn't know how to win right now. I say the same about my Hornets. They got Clifford back. Like, what the hell? You've already had a coach you fired before back in the organization. What are we doing, bro? Pistons, I don't know what's going on there. Their coach, I like a lot. I don't know if the players are believing in them, but I do like them. These two teams frustrate me, though. Ton of talent. Detroit talent. I mean, you look at their size. They got a marquee player on their team that's staying healthy. The Hornets got LaMelo Ball. They just paid, $300 million? I don't even know. $260, whatever it is. Always gets hurt. When the Hornets invest in these guys that are always getting hurt, like a Gordon Hayward, I don't want to take money out of their pocket. I understand they sell tickets, put butts in the seats. But, dude, why are these guys not playing? Can we invest more into their health and their longevity and to helping them out mentally and physically, whatever it is? Like, can we invest there? Can that $260 million be cut down so you can invest with them personally and other stuff to help them out? Like, what the heck is it? Like, there's got to be some sort of plan or something. Or maybe just steroids will fix it. I don't know. But something to help these guys out so they're not getting injured. Please find the secret, because if you want to see your top player that you're paying the most do something and that money not go to waste, then please do it. Like, please invest in that energy towards keeping these guys healthy and focused. Oh, it's that classic. Now you're paid. You want to take off a little bit. But if you're a true baller, you're going to put your foot on the gas and press even harder on that. Go even harder. So we'll see. But the Hornets piss me off. And I don't know what it is about their team. I think when Miles Bridges getting back, I thought we were going to be better. But Ball gets hurt, goes down. Clifford doesn't like playing certain guys. We just got to figure it out. But the Hornets trying to get a top pick, man. I think if they had Wemby, they'd be a million times better. I don't know why the Spurs ain't better with somebody like that, but he might not be ready and in the condition for the NBA yet. Maybe he's like getting ready, but he has glimpses of how great he's going to be. He's still, 19, 20, so he's going to be awesome. Oh, yeah, Eric Spoelstra, the Heat, 8-year contract extension. Why not, over $100 million on the contract. That makes all the sense in the world to me. Great coach, great leader, already won championships. Got to reward those guys, and their team's always relevant, And in a place like Miami with a lot of distractions, I would say that's easier said than done. So I love that for him. All right. So NBA, those are the main storylines that I care about right now. Don't really get too hype about it until playoffs. I do like some marquee games, especially when the NBA playoff or the NFL playoffs are done. You have the NBA. Then I love to watch some of the matchups as it's coming down to the wire, but the playoffs are so long already. So I just really get hype about that, especially when my Hornets ain't doing too well. I'm ripping Charlotte on my shirt right now. The Skyline right here, 704 Shops, shout out. But our Hornets need to be relevant again. Our Panthers need to be relevant again. The city needs a winner again. God help us. Just help us, please. All right, and then you got Tom Brady becoming a broadcaster. How y'all think that's going to play out? I think he's going to do great. I love listening to that guy talk. He's just a born leader, and he's done it. He's lived it, he's done it. And honestly, I know Romo's never won a Super Bowl, but he's a great commentator. But Greg Olsen from Carolina Panthers, who lives in Charlotte, he's one of the best guys to listen to in the NFL commentating world. All right, and what about the Giants with Daniel Jones? Man, Duke Project Duke product, go Blue Devils. But he, they paid him a lot, and he gets hurt. What are they going to do there? I mean, I guess he's going to be good. Maybe this time off would have helped him dissect the game a little bit better. So that's one thing I see with injuries and with players. They get that earning and that burning desire back, right, of the game, the way to look at it, the way to dissect it, the way to get enthused about it. So maybe he comes back stronger than ever with a new outlook on things. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what plays out with him. All right, and let's move on to college. We mentioned Nebraska beating Purdue. Is Purdue the true number one? I don't know. Arizona looks pretty freaking awesome. If you've seen Caleb Love, he looks like a man possessed, a man on a mission out there. He is balling. Coming from North Carolina, he left them and was like, all right, guys, I'm out. I can do better elsewhere. And he left kind of sad with Carolina, but he was like everything. Like, he was shooting all their shots, and you could just tell people were putting their head down because they got amazing players, amazing recruits, but so does Arizona, so does all these other big programs. So when it comes to somebody like Arizona playing that kind of offense, very fast-paced, and he gets to do what he wants, and I think he's even gotten better year over year. Man, that's a team to watch out for. I would say Arizona is my favorite right now as far as like going into the tournament. I know we're a couple months away, but I like them. I like what they're working with. Duke, surprisingly, is number 11 in the country. They are a team that has pieces, and they got the veteran point guard, and they got the big man that came back, and they got the pieces. They got the shooters, but do they have the defense? Do they have what it takes? I think they do. I think they got a great team this year. I think they just had to shake some rust off early in the season, and they had to get into a groove, figure out what works for them. I think now they're all right, man. North Carolina, I haven't watched them too much. I know they're another great team this year. The ACC's tough once again. The SEC's tough. But some of these teams out west, man, they're ballers. BYU, talked about Arizona. Just some of these teams out west going to surprise you. Sometimes you ain't ready for some of them. So, be on the lookout for that. Charlotte beat Florida Atlantic the other night. I was at that game. Shout out to Kyle Church for Florida Atlantic coaching staff. I love Florida Atlantic's team. I love their coaching staff. Charlotte at home is a force to be reckoned with this year. They played a night, and I'm just excited for their program and hopefully headed upwards. They got a first-year coach, but he has a great resume, great background. He's been with the program as an assistant head for a little while, so natural progression into the role. So we'll see. But Florida Atlantic, they're a team built to make another run. They got all the players back, coaching staff back. I think they're going to make some noise. The fact that they're losing these games now to teams they're supposed to beat, quote unquote, is fine, I think, because they're beating the big teams. They're competing with the big teams. So when I see a team doing that, it's just about everybody getting on the same page and getting motivated and starting the game out with that sense of urgency. So if they do that, I guess these teams are supposed to beat, start with that urgency and go balls to the wall like they can do, which they end up doing in the second half most of the time when they get real aggressive on defense. and then start hitting the threes, they can beat anybody. Such a great team, fun to watch. Got some size with Vlad, their center. And then they got shooters all around him. So we'll see. It's more like a 4 guard with the big guy. So that makes it tough, especially in college where you got a lot of these teams that are big programs that have 6'8" to 6'10" shooters that can play multiple positions and be very athletic. So we'll see. I mean, a lot of this just depends on matchups. When you think 5-on-5 basketball, it's really just about the matchups. And with football, it's like who's hot right now, who's playing team ball and all 3 levels, 3 phases, right? But with basketball, it's a little tougher, especially when you got one game and you're out of the tournament. You know, if you lose one, you're out. With the NBA, it kind of bakes it in. You best of 7 series, so you kind of know over time who the better built team is usually, or the hotter team. But let's see here. So Conor McGregor, you think he's going to come back to fight? Who knows? The dude's a beast. I think he probably should do something with the sport, but I don't know if it's come back. They were even saying come back at a higher weight class, and I'm like, sounds kind of dangerous. And I don't know if he's gonna have any other big wins in his career, unfortunately. But he's one of the greatest fighters to ever watch. Great showman, definitely cocky. But to be one of these fighters, man, you got to be a little crazy. Let's be honest. Like, to go in there in the ring, square up, and dominate people, like, you got to be a little crazy. So, he gets a pass on being crazy, but a great ambassador to the game. He's done so much with that sport, and love watching guys like that go through their career in MMA because they're just making a difference. And that one guy, what's his name? Adesanya, I don't know. Dude's crazy, but there's so many good athletes in that sport. It's fun to watch. And Caitlin Clark. Okay, Caitlin Clark. She is worth the price of admission and then some. Caitlin Clark, as a female basketball player, I would put her up there with one of the most marketable people in the world. Why? I mean, this girl is doing things I've never seen on the court, male or female. She's quick release, in your face, taking you to the hole, everything. I mean, turn around, back up, step back, 3, NBA range and beyond, logo 3s. Not to mention, you get her in front of a camera, you get her on a mic, she has a charisma about her, character about her. Man, Caitlin Clark is the truth. And whoever has the opportunity to be involved with this young lady, to do anything for her, to pay her all the money she wants, to represent your brand, do it, because this chick is worth it. She's on a mission. She's gonna go down as one of the greatest players of any sport of all time, hands down. I don't care what you say. She is a beast, a competitor. God, I love watching her play. I never thought I'd say that about women's basketball. No offense, because I respect women's basketball. It's just not the sport that I choose to watch. But now there's a player I'm like, holy crap. Diana Taurasi, she in college, I remember watching her, but it was like everybody UConn. Anytime UConn was playing there on TV, I might tune into that one. I like that. And then Dawn Staley, South Carolina, those girls she gets, and especially those big girls down low that are ballers, that are beasts. Like, damn, I'd be afraid to play against them, right? But Caitlin Clark, as far as like the Steph Curry effect, she's above Steph Curry, man. As far as like where Steph Curry was at in college, the buzz was there about Steph Curry, but Caitlin Clark is an even more hype version of Steph Curry right now. As far as when Steph Curry was in college, she's more hype in college than he was. and she's worth watching. Like, holy cow. Like, this is one of the best things that could happen for women's basketball is have a player like this taken off, and you can expect every game for her to ball out. Like, it's not like 30 points here, 15 points there. No, it's like 25 points here, 40 points there, 30 points here, 30 points there, 29 points here. It's not, oh man, you can't shut her down. These teams are trying to defend her, and they can't shut her down. Like, it is amazing. So once she gets to the WNBA, watch out. I wish Charlotte would get a WNBA team back because that team would probably win. Yeah, thank you, Don Staley, by the way. But thank you, Don Staley, because you balled for the Charlotte Steam back in the day. But if Charlotte gets a WNBA team, I'm coming to watch Caitlin Clark, whoever she's playing for. All right, and then let's see. Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know. Don't want to touch that one. Detroit worrying about the Rams. Don't really want to touch that one. That's a good matchup. Washington. Okay. Washington Huskies started with Michigan winning. But think about it. Penix, whatever his name is. For him to not have a great game and to really be hurt at the end, it goes to show this guy needs some pieces around him, right? But once he goes to the NFL where all these guys are good, I think he's going to be great, man. The way he throws the ball, he was putting some balls on the money. And if you had a receiver that was a Tyreek Hill that could go up there and get it, or somebody you can just throw downfield to Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, or something like that, man, this guy has got it. He's a great quarterback. He's going to be great in the league. I would put money on him being better than McCarthy from Michigan, who just won. That offensive line and defensive line for Michigan is so great. But their offensive line created some amazing holes for the running back. All they had to do was run it to win it. And then with Washington, they were forced to throw, and it was the only thing they could do, or tried to do even. And, when you're one-dimensional, you ain't going to win many games. So, but I do think Penix will have a good career in the NFL. I think due to his adversity in college and his comeback story with the injuries, as long as he can stay healthy, I think he'll be fine. He's a skinny guy as well. He's not as short as Bryce Young, but he's a skinny guy. But he's a lefty. He can throw the heck out of a ball. He can place it. He can make all the throws. He's a talent. So I think he'll have a decent career. We'll see though. You never know with those quarterbacks. Sometimes it's just timing. It's the team. It's the stuff around you. It's the adversity and the comeback story or the chip on the shoulder story. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'm looking forward to seeing how all that plays out. And that's all I have for you today. But, hey, threw some picks in there, threw some highlights of what's going on right now. Next time I might spend more time on the Lakers or somebody. But I just want to throw out some general highlights. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your picks. Let me know who you got for these playoffs. Let me know who you got down the stretch in some of these other leagues like the NBA, NCAA, to finish in the finals this year or make a good run. But thanks for listening. Can't wait to get this next episode out to y'all soon.